To create our fretboard radius, we first need to make sure that all 4 of our fretboard sides are joined. Next, I'm going to turn my 4 tiles on, just getting a relatively good view of the fretboard from each one. I'm then going to go and use the circle tool from the midpoint of the last fret. Once I've done that, I'm going to come down to the front view and I'm going to type in the radius that I want. So for this one, I'm using a 16-inch radius. I'm going to type in 16 and just press enter. You should be able to see something like this now. Next, what I'm going to do is highlight that circle, go to Surface, Extrude Curves, and Straight. I just simply want to extrude it past the top of the fretboard. We have now created a surface with a 16-inch radius that we can use to project the fretboard onto. To do that, I'm going to select the fret, type in Project, click the new surface and press enter. As you can see, we now have the same fretboard curves projected onto a 16-inch radius. I'm now going to select the new surface, use the split command and select the fretboard profile. I can now go ahead and delete the outside of this surface. You can also delete the fretboard that was generated on the negative side of the circle. So as you can see here, we have a fretboard on a 16-inch radius. You can either go ahead and delete all of the lines in it and use the surface for machining, or you can keep the lines on it, it's up to you. I'm going to go ahead and delete all of the lines, just selecting everything. Then I'm going to use a control click on the surface to make sure I haven't selected that. So as you can see, I've now got a surface with a 16-inch radius. I'm now going to select my fretboard, use the move command, making sure that vertical is selected, and I'm going to basically move it underneath my fretboard. That's because when I machine it, I use the top of the stock as the 0. A compound radius is pretty similar. First of all, what you want to do is select the circle tool again, going from the midpoint of the end of the heel. And for this example, I'm going to use a 16-inch radius at the end of the heel. I'm now going to repeat that and create a 12-inch radius at the nut. I now need to draw some reference lines, so I'm going to select the polyline. I'm going to use the bottom right of the fretboard, and I'm going to come up until it intersects with its radius. I can now repeat that for the nut. I now want to move these circles down until they intersect with the fretboard. So I'm going to select one of them, type in move it from the intersection down into the new intersection. And I'm going to go ahead and repeat that for the end of the fretboard. I can now delete these 2 reference lines and also split these 2 circles from the fretboard profile. I now want to join the ends of the radiuses together. Selecting the 4 new curves, I can then go and do a network surface command. As you can see, we now have a compound radius with a 16-inch radius at the heel and a 12-inch radius at the nut.